What's up, Heather?
Hey, Jack. How's it going? Happy, what day is today? I feel lost in the week sometimes. I think I said happy Monday to someone yesterday. I started laughing. She said, yeah, I feel like I'm stuck on Monday too. Oh, so no, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday. It's, yeah, the days get lost, especially when we're not engaging with people on a regular basis outside of our little enclaves that we've created for ourselves, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was actually just thinking about that driving in the office this morning and just thinking about people I haven't even been up north to Carlsbad. I used to go at least once a week to see a client or see a partner. And I haven't been up there in months. I haven't had a reason to go. So it's interesting how much of a bubble comes from this situation. Missed that.
Okay. I'm just making sure that we had it going live on LinkedIn and we are showing there. Oh, interesting. So it shows our statistics for everything but LinkedIn here, and LinkedIn shows something very different.
Okay.
But anyways, this is our first live event, our first real live event. We're excited today. Thank you all for joining us. It's not scripted, right, Heather?
Right.
We have a few bullet points, of course, that we want to talk about, which I think is important, but we didn't want it to be just another presentation today. So it's our first again, as I remind you all. So be kind to us, but also feel free to interact, throw some questions if you want. And we'd love feedback either now or later if you watch this video later. So,
right.
Heather, before we get into talking about VBO and really what that is and what we're doing, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So for those that don't know me, I have been in this space in insurance for, gosh, going on 13 years now. Actually spent the majority of all of my time in the voluntary benefits, or as we like to call them, enhanced benefit space, and have grown, and evolved to really where we are today. I'm excited to have this agency we're building. And on a personal level, I have 2 children. So I have a almost 4 and 6-year-old who definitely keep me on my toes, and where I spend my time when I'm not working with you on the business. What about you?
Yeah, let's see. Just like everybody else in the insurance industry, I grew up wishing I was going to be in insurance. Yeah, right. I fell into it, and I left the great state of Oregon, beautiful state, nice and rainy. And we're seeing some of that lately here. But I left that state to move down here to California, where I started in the insurance world. And I had no idea what I was going to do, but I didn't even know if it was right for me. But I quickly saw some value in insurance and explaining it, because a lot of people were like me. They just didn't really want to pay attention to insurance until somebody showed them. Been in the industry now since 2005, met my wife, which is now here as well. And that's been exciting. Met you in the insurance industry and many other fantastic individuals over the years. And it's been a great ride. Oh, I did not meet my wife in the insurance industry, to be clear.
I love that you always say that.
Well, a lot of people have that perception, but yeah. I brought her into the insurance industry, and now we have 2 beautiful daughters, and we live down here in sunny San Diego. So very excited for this. But now jumping into a little bit about why EBIS, I guess I could ask you this, because I have my own thoughts as well. So yeah, what do you think the purpose of EBIS is? Why did we start this thing?
Yeah, well, I think it started with a seed in your brain and kind of started to flourish from there. With 10 years in the industry at that point, I think that both of us really had the foresight to look out, and not just what's in front of us, to see what this industry was shaping up to be for the next 3 to 5 years, and the changes that were happening, and really where our place was in that mix, being that both of us built our business through broker partnerships, looking at where that was going with technology and different carriers in the market starting to come in and have more options, and really have a need for someone to help navigate through that. really, I think, is where EBIS was born and allowed us to really expand what we were doing and be of even more value to the partners, the broker partners we're working with, and the clients, which at the end of the day, you know, is really to get that end product to the consumer and give them the opportunity to take advantage of policies that are going to put money back in their pocket and make sure that their family's taken care of. And, you know, doing that for over 10 years, I think that was a big passion of both of ours. And the creation of EBIS, I felt, really allowed us to do that even on a bigger scale, like I said, and really just create something that we knew could be catered around our partners and the changes that were happening in the industry. So that's what it was for me, kind of looking out and knowing if I stay where I'm at now, you know, I'm not going to be in the industry like I have been now, or where I want to be. So
yeah. And how easy was that change for you?
Oh yeah, walk in the park, you know, just height of my career pretty much as a manager, you know, hit all my numbers, all 4 quarters. And I, you know, it's kind of like when everyone said, well, wait a minute, like, why did Seinfeld leave, right? I mean, they go out on a high note, right? You don't want to go and the ship is. But that was a hard leap. I mean, that was a big leap, right? And I think it would have been so much easier to maybe say, oh, let me just jump over and I'll be with another carrier that's similar and just represent them instead. And I think it took a lot of guts for us to actually step back and say, what if we represented all the carriers and we brought the best one to the table? Not a lot of people are willing to take the time and energy to learn all those carriers and become, you know, even more of an expert in this field. So that was really difficult for me. I felt like I was leaving a boyfriend of 10 years, almost like cheating on him a little bit when I first started representing some of these other carriers. But again, just remembering the bigger picture in mind and really that end consumer and doing what's in their best interest, I think, is what continued to drive us to make this change.
Awesome. I'm going to mimic that. It was a challenge to make this change, but why did we start EBIS? It was a lot with where was the industry going and are we going to be where we want to be? There's a lot of opportunity no matter what we do, but we thought that we can make the biggest impact with changing our model and moving to what we call the VBO model. And I had a little spark in 17 actually about this new venture, this operation. We went out and tested it with some of our broker partners. We actually asked them what their thoughts were, and it was overwhelming because they gave us a lot of support. And we thank everybody for that amazing support that you gave to give us the courage to do what we believe we had to do. 18, we really started ramping up. And 19, we made the full decision that 19, it's it. So January 1 of 19, we'll say, was our official launch date. Right. And we, again, had nothing but support with our journey. Now, so what is a VBO? This is the fun part. It stands for a voluntary benefit outsource. And we took that and elaborated on it or added a little to it because we think it's more than just a voluntary benefit outsource. We think that there's a couple pieces in there. And the first piece, though, I'm going to talk about what I do a little bit. Heather's going to talk about a little of what she does or she's involved with. And we're going to throw in what our third partner, Jackie, does as well. We'll touch on that. But the first part is we go out and we shop. We don't shop. We build relationships with our carriers. There you go. And the reason why I don't say shop, because we truly have partnerships with them and a partnership is both ways. We want to give them the business that works for their company and vice versa. They want to give us the business that's going to work for us. And the value in that is we might not place every client with one carrier, but we get really good sticky business because we're able to place the right carriers with the right clients all around the business and benefits objectives. To me, it's been a blast. I've been able to work with some of the, I bet you some of these great carrier partners are on right now, working with them to design some of the plans. And not only the plans, the compensation, how does it work, and creating these long-term solutions. So it's not a one and done. It is a continuing to grow the business together. For instance, actually, no, I'm not going to get into all the examples. Maybe at the end if we have some time. But it's been a blast. And so for us, to simplify it, we're working with the carriers to build the relationships, to bring the right contracting, underwriting, and design the products that are going to fit the client's needs. We're not pushing product, we're creating solutions. That to me has been huge. And our broker partners get to access all of our relationships through us, or with us, I should say. And oh yeah, one other piece before I jump over to Heather. So working with our broker partners, it's been great because we're that one solution to shop it all. Both our large agencies, some have in-house VB practice leaders. That's been phenomenal. And they may or may not need our help, but sometimes just to bounce ideas off of us has been good. Or focusing on our target market where we have to turn around a true proposal within 48 hours in fourth quarter. So this is a power partnership where we can work together to come up with some of those solutions. So.
Well, and I think the other thing to add to that I feel is very powerful and what we're able to bring to the table is some of that expertise that we have, not only from doing this for 10 years, but more so just for taking the time. And we'll never be the top expert, but just honing that craft of knowing the carriers, because I feel that that's an area that some of our broker partners have shied away from because of some of the pitfalls that have happened with some of the carriers. And, no one's perfect, but when you know that one carrier might not cover cross-border or something like that, that's very important for someone to know. And if a broker just dives in, and that's not their core business, as it shouldn't be, and spending all their time there, then that's, an area they can put somewhere else. So I feel that's another thing that we bring to the table, and we really have cultivated over the last couple of years to really get to know the ins and outs of the carrier partners we're working with, like you said, so we can place it in the right places and provide that solution.
Yep. So if I'm hearing you right, we're doing sustainable long-term solutions. Yes. Look at my skills there,
Ooh,
Heather.
Fancy. Oh, you can type stuff. I like it. Oh, that's right.
But so that's part one. We go out and we build those relationships. Part two is we need a full engagement strategy, which is different for every client. So tell us a little bit about that engagement strategy, Heather.
Yeah, definitely. As we mentioned earlier, part of the creation of EBIS, in my opinion, was to present a more holistic strategy and solution, right? With a lot of changing technology, it's really changed our industry, and positive or negative, that is a big component of benefits right now, right? Are the enrollment platforms. And so if you're offering a product that is meant to partner to maybe couple with a high deductible to offset that, or, really fit into the benefits picture, if it's over here in another system, or the only way they know about it is if they contact someone, is that really the best service for the employee, right? And not only that, but for many of us, especially with this shifting environment, as we know, for employees, it's a foreign language. So while it's wonderful to have some of these enrollment support tools through the online platforms, or even agency assistance, of course, constantly helping employees, there's a lift there in making sure that ideally, these companies are spending so much money on providing these benefits that it's made more like a celebration, right? Instead of a drain. And when you have HR directors, if you even have an HR director, sometimes it's the owner wearing multiple hats. And so providing that additional support to the broker and the brokerage team, our partners, and then also to the HR really brings everyone in collaboration and creates, ideally, we create an enrollment experience for the employee using some different modalities that we have that are really catered again to the employer, speaking through what type of communication they use with their staff members, for if it's an all millennial group, we know what that's probably going to be. But if you have a multi-generational workforce, then that's not a one size fits all. And sometimes we need to have a couple different ways to do the education and give them access to resources. So one of the things that we felt was really important with our model was to have benefit counselors. And I think this is really one of the places that can separate us and where we're sharing that part of our model is to provide that support. So not necessarily more of the enrollment firm model where everyone needs to see the counselor, but often more on supporting the enrollment. So we are creating those specific to the client, again, in collaboration with them. And then we are assisting in facilitating and carrying that enrollment calendar, cadence, and communication out once it is created. And I'll tell you, we get really good feedback when it's done the right way. In the middle of one right now, or the HR, just saying, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we have you here helping us. It's made a big difference, and some of these things have gone over really well with the staff. So I get really passionate about that, making it a holistic experience. So these products are integrated in, they get the education, they understand where it fits into their overall picture. And our benefit counselors are versed in the whole benefit package. So they're not just speaking to the enhanced benefits, again, holistic, right? So they are able to speak through the entire thing. And for many people that is needed, they need help finding a PCP. They need help, navigating what plans are which. And again, it's not that the brokerage partners of ours don't have that support to give them. They will, but if they have to proactively reach out for it, or you have a lot of people doing that, again, going back to time and resources for our partner, that helps us to help them there. And again, just kind of a win-win all around for the employees. I'll tell you, I had an experience a friend shared with me that her husband works for a small company, and just the onboarding of benefits was a little rough. They just kind of tossed out half a benefit package and said, hey, if you have questions, call us. And so she reached out to me because she had questions, but I just thought, man, what kind of onboarding experience is that? You just a new company, and you want to be explaining these benefits, not only because me as a consumer, or her as a consumer are paying for them, right? But also because the employer is paying a lot of money. Healthcare is expensive, right? I think we say it's the second or third largest tab for most businesses outside of payroll. So, wouldn't the company want to make sure that everyone understands? And I'm sure they do, but they're overwhelmed. So getting this holistic experience has really allowed us to accomplish that in what we're doing. Did you have anything to add to that, Jack?
Maybe just a couple pieces, and this kind of ties into operations. So we have probably a minute and a half left or so. We don't want to go maybe a few minutes longer, but we don't want to go too long. Maybe 5 at most, right? Because we talk a lot, but a couple pieces of that. So actually, I'll just ask you this question. Which platforms do we work with, Heather?
Good question. We work with the platform that our broker partner needs us to work on. At the beginning, we thought, hey, maybe we'll get a platform and provide it to our partners. But the reality of it is that everyone kind of has their preference in what they're using. And sometimes that's client-based if they need to be, with a payroll carrier they're already on. So yeah, that's another thing we're able to do is partner with them on whatever platform they're using. Of course, here in San Diego, a lot of that's done through EBIS. And Employee
Navigator, larger clients, ADP, Kronos. It really doesn't matter, and I think that's a big value. And we prefer that our broker partners keep control of the system. We will take control if they want, but I think there's a lot of value in them having that actual control, especially on the EBISs and the Navigators of the world. That's our personal opinion, but it's really ultimately up to each person. So we're agnostic, but we still build relationships with the carriers, and we really become that in-house trusted advisor is really what we're trying to do, right? And what we're working to do. Then we provide a full enrollment team that looks and feels like it's part of the entire broker operation. And then last, we have to service. And it's different for every client. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about Jackie's side is, and she takes care of our support staff, our support team, which is amazing. We have individuals actually across the nation now in several states, which has been great. We're still small, we're boutique, but we have some great people. With that being said is, oh, there's a private chat.
Yeah, I was like,
I found it, Heather.
There we go.
With that is, we want to provide the support to help with the builds or make some of the changes. And a lot of times our partners want to do those builds, but we still help with those, or we'll even take on some of those because we want to work around our partners. So we help each other. We don't want to overcomplicate it. With that, we have a whole tracking system, a CRM that we track probably everything and anything, sometimes a little bit more than I think we need, but it's been proven very useful down the road. And because we can find some of the information, and our partners are coming to us and asking us for certain things. And last but not least, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it allows us to be proactive as well by doing audits, by checking invoices and doing things that would normally suck up some time from other agencies to get in front of things so we're not running into issues, 3 months later that need cleaned up. I think that's big and valuable as well.
That's right. Now, all of our team, including our benefit counselors, are, again, non-commissioned, non-bonused, and they are W-2'd, which is also unique. So we get a lot of the same people over and over and over, which creates that comfortability for our clients. Because we also like to see employees throughout the year, and that's part of that model. It's not just a one and done. It's a multi-year strategy with multiple touches, again, depending upon each client. Some want us there every month, some want to talk to us every week, and some want to talk to us, well, once a year. But it's ultimately what they want. So with this three-pronged approach, which is we shop the products, bring the best value. We really focus on that. That's our, as Heather would say, our highway or our center of genius. And it's the age of specialization. That's what we specialize in, including employee engagement and doing things that are right for that company, or at least what we believe are right for that company within conjunction with what the broker and the client wants. And then we service it. That's how we keep it. So it's a little different. It's a little different than most models out there. We believe that this is a fantastic model. Of course, we're biased. There's other great models out there too, but this is what we're promoting. This is what, let's see, VBO is all about. It's about doing something different.
Right. And that's really why we wanted you to join us here today. We thank you for that. I think over the 2 years we've been around, we've done a good job building some relationships, but we want to get a little clearer on what we do because, we're doing something that really no one else is. So we want to be a little more clear with that. And that's why you're going to hear more of VBO is the way to go in 2021. So just one last wrap up here, just to give you the actual definition that we'd like to share on what a VBO is. Really, it's an outside specialty firm that looks and feels internal, that uses its industry expertise and resources to design employee-sponsored benefits, partnered with employee engagement strategies. So thanks again for joining us today. This is our first, but probably won't be our last. And we hope that you learned something new today. So we don't get to see your faces, but you get to see ours. A little different than videos or pictures. So this has been a lot of fun. And again, thanks for joining.
Yep. If you want to contact us, Facebook, LinkedIn, cell phone, it doesn't matter. Thank you all. I will make one little small plug. And that is that we will have some more content coming out about some of the solutions that are available out there and some of the strategies, maybe not all the tactics, but some of the strategies coming. So have a fantastic day.
All right. Take care.